guys, it's me. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm actually doing something a bit different from my channel. For those who are new and clicked on this video first, hi, my name is Trandy Bella. And for those who have already been here before, as you can see, most of my regular videos have been gacha, not including the shorts. But I'm doing something a bit different. More info at the end of the video, along with a few things I wanted to say. But basically, in this video, I'm just gonna be drawing my Miis in my style. If you haven't seen my other channel, which is my gaming channel, I made 3 Miis in a challenge that I did for myself. And for this, I wanted to draw them in my style and how I would make their stories to be. I mean, in the past, I did make a draw the process video for a different kind of thing, but it's still unlisted, and I will choose to keep it unlisted, or maybe even private, because I don't plan on showing it to the public. But today, I am going to be working on the process of making these 3, along with maybe their backstories, and possibly some fun facts about them. I will say, when it comes to explaining their design, I'm not the greatest at explaining it, but I shall still try my best to explain as much as I can. Getting all my personal thoughts out of the way, how about we start with the first drawing? Coming up first, we have my Mii, Gremmy. Now, when I finished the challenge for him, he just looks like a gremlin overall, an angry gremlin. So I wanted to make him an actual gremlin in my design. Now for his backstory, of course you could make someone angry for no reason, that's always funny, but I want him to actually have some trauma. So this is how his story plays out. He was originally in a village with his mother and father, but at a very young age, a big mean dragon attacked their home, and it destroyed a lot of the village, leaving barely any survivors. And sadly, Gremmy's parents got caught in the fire and died, leaving Gremmy all alone, young, vulnerable, and helpless. He did venture off into a different village, yet gremlins do not have the best reputation, so not many people treat him kindly. He tried to be nice to them though when he was younger, tried to ask people if they needed help or even offered some support, but they all just were mean to him or feared of him and ran off or just didn't care about him. The more this cycle grew, the more hatred he grew for people in general. Since he decided, oh, I guess no one likes me because I'm a gremlin, might as well be a little menace to them. So he decided to steal to survive. And then later on, he started doing it for a job, meaning he became a rogue. I thought it'd be a bit interesting to give him a dungeon class, so I made him a rogue. He's very quick-minded, but mischievous, very, very angry, and also very stubborn, preferring to do things his own way as a loner because he didn't have a great reputation with the public, so he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna do everything by myself. I don't need help from nobody. Even so though, he does get himself into a lot of sticky situations, and by a lot, I mean a lot. He is too stubborn to listen to anybody else, even if they are fellow rogues, being like, oh, you're gonna get cooked if you do that. He's like, screw you, who cares about what you think, and ends up in the sticky situation. So yeah, he's stubborn and loves to do things his own way. However, he wouldn't stay being a loner forever, as I imagine with all 3 of these characters I'm making, they would all meet up somehow and become a team of 3. And with all that out of the way, we have Gremmy the Gremlin. I think he looks pretty cool here. What do you guys think? Next up, we have Velvy Sproutuk. I will say she probably has the least trauma out of these 3. When I finished the challenge for her, the game was definitely like, yeah, make a witch character. Your challenge is gonna make you have a witch character. And she did look like a witch. but I still found a way to make her cute. Now, for Velvy's story, she, like I said, has probably the most peaceful one. She lived in the cottage her entire life with her mother and father, and there is some conflict about the opinion of witches. There are good witches and there are bad witches. So with them, they're like, okay, don't go out into the public, you don't know what they're gonna do, be careful, stay out of sight. So she does, but she still has a very big curiosity on people and social life in general. So there would be times where she'd sneak out, go in disguise, and check out the village, and want to try and find some friends to hang out with. I mean, don't get me wrong, she still likes hanging out with her parents, but she also wants to try and find a group that's her age. People who can actually understand her and actually make her not feel lonely. And she also wants to travel the world in general. But, of course, with their parents, they're still like, no, you gotta stay inside. It's too dangerous for you. Now, what she likes to do is that she likes to make magic, like witches usually do. And she usually makes those from herbs she grows or finds, and also tests them to make sure they're safe for people. One of the goals in her life is that she wants to help people with her magic. She wants to be a good witch. When she's not going out to do social stuff, she stays in her cottage like she's supposed to, and works on magic, spells, or reading, like reading about the world in general. Every book she has is about the world, whether it's like romance or different kind of spells or even outer space, etc. She likes reading because it's one of the only things she has to learning about the outside world other than sneaking out when her parents don't know. Of course, she's kind to others and likes to help whenever she can. However, it can also make her pretty naive. As I said, she doesn't really know much about the world in general, so she doesn't know when someone could end up using her or end up in bad situations. I mean, when Velvy first met, Grammy and Nymph, she didn't know that Grammy is a rogue and, trying to steal people's stuff. So she doesn't know that until way later in their stories, so they have a little episode about that, in my head, at least, in my head. And with all that, here is Velvy Sproutook. I actually think she's a very adorable witch in my design. I mean, look at her. And finally, we have, I would say, my favorite out of the trio, Nymph the Elf. When finishing their challenge, they definitely look the most normal out of all three of them. They are the smartest out of the three, and they are not really sociable and usually focus on their studies. Think of Twilight from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the first episode. That's who this person was. They didn't really have any friends, and they would just stick to their studies in the Elf Kingdom. However, I said Velvy's was the most peaceful. So get ready for some interesting backstory, people. In the kingdom they lived in, it was originally peaceful, until there were some hunters that came and invaded it. Elves are very rare for magic and stuff, and people usually like to hunt them down for their magic or any other things. That's what basically happened in the kingdom. And there were many people that survived. There were some, they scattered, they fled, a lot didn't make it. And sadly, one of them was Nymph's teacher. And Nymph really looked up to their teacher very, very much. And the fact that they died because of them was a big shock. They were able to make it out, but lived in the forest their entire lives. Now you may be thinking, how did the teacher die because of Nymph? Well, while escaping, Nymph did run into a hunter that ended up slashing their eye, making that eye blind. And with a powerful spell, the teacher was able to find Nymph and cast it on them, being able to kill the hunter, but also themselves, making them feel extremely guilty. After that entire scenario, they definitely stayed away from society in general, as they didn't want to make things worse for other people. And by that, I mean they didn't want to have anybody else in danger because of them. thinking that they could be a danger hazard to others. They lived in the forest and continued with some studies, trying to just live out their lives and survive. However, it doesn't always stay that way because, of course, Grammy and Velvy end up meeting Nimp, and end up being the first to actually be friends with Nimp. Now, once they do end up being close to Velvy and Grammy, they will protect them with their lives because they are their first friends and they do not want a repeat of what happened to their teacher. So they are determined and promise to themselves that they are going to protect Grammy and Velvy no matter what the cost. And with all that, here's Nimp the elf reading a book. I think they turned out incredibly cool. And with that, we're done making my Miis into actual OCs. Let me know which one is your favorite. I personally think Nimp, like I said before, but that's just me. I actually had a bunch of fun drawing these three, and it was very fun to actually finally make their backstories in it, because honestly, with them not just being a trio, I imagine a big love scenario with all three of them. And I know I usually make gotcha stuff, but I have a bit of an announcement for that. Like I said, I was gonna save something until the end, so I'm gonna say it now. I still like making gotcha stuff at times, but I'm not that entirely into making gotcha stuff anymore. Like, I'm not as big on making it as I was in the past, because I'm also into making my art. Like my channel description says, I'm just doing what I love to do. And I do love making my art, and I also love making gotcha stuff at times. And voice acting and my AUs, but getting off topic. And I will admit, most of my channel is just talking about my stories, specifically my characters in my story called Hevelyn, but I'm still not planning on doing the main lore, because I'm saving that for something very, very big in the future, but I still want to talk about them because I love my beans. So I will say, you will probably see some art videos at times, maybe, if I feel up to it, other than just gotcha stuff. And with all that, I think that's all I wanted to say for this. If you really liked the video, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And for everyone who has already subscribed already, I just want to say thank you for staying around and liking what I do. I really appreciate it from you guys. You all are awesome. And for anyone who's curious on the video that I made for the Blind Me Challenge with these three, I will have it in the link in the description below on the video and my gaming channel in case anyone's interested. And with all that, I shall see you guys next time. Bye!